Welcome to Jesus and Mary Inseparable. The name of this video shall be How to Save the World. How to save the world? Can we do that? Well, we can certainly help. And the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared 100 years ago to tell us to ask certain things of the people of the world. She asked for a few requests, and to this day, they've not been answered. But she said, if my requests are not answered, many nations will get annihilated. Many nations will be annihilated. And looking back with hindsight, we can be quite sure that that means nuclear war, or at least some sort of war, great war. Were there many nations annihilated in World War II? Nope. There were a lot of devastated countries in World War II, granted. But annihilation, we're talking about countries wiped off the map. Anyway, to stop that, we can stop it by answering the requests of Our Lady. Better late than never. It's very late, but better late than never. So, what were the requests? They're quite simple, really. There was one request for the hierarchy of the church. I.e. the Pope and the bishops. They were asked to do a small prayer called a consecration prayer of Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And that's not been done to this day. That prayer would probably take 5 minutes. Anyway, that was their part, and that's not been done. But the part for the faithful, the lay people, was to do something called the First Saturday's Devotion. Now, most Catholics don't know about the First Saturday Devotion. Most Catholics, they've heard of the Fatima apparitions, but they've not heard of the First Saturday Devotion. So that's another request that's not being done. And you could say there was one more request that's not also been fulfilled, and that's the revelation of the third secret. You see, the Blessed Virgin gave 3 secrets to the children of Fatima. There were 3 shepherd children. And the third secret has not been released to this day. Getting back to the requests, the 2 earlier requests. Yes, the Pope and the bishops have not done the first one, but this is the point of this video, the second one, what we can do to help. The First Saturday Devotion is really quite easy. It won't take much of your time, maybe an hour or 2. And you just do it 1 day per month. and it's on the first Saturday of the month, and you do it for 5 consecutive months. That's why it's called the First Saturday's Devotion, because you do it on the first Saturday of each month, and you do it for 5 months. And what do? Just a few prayers, really. There's 4 particular things that are required to do this devotion. Now, on the first Saturday of each month, we have to go to Mass, go to confession, say a rosary, and the 4th one is do a 15-minute meditation on any part of the rosary. So that's quite easy, isn't it? Holy Mass will take between half an hour and an hour. Confession could be anything between 5 minutes and 20 minutes. Rosary could be 15 to 30 minutes. And the meditation, 15 minutes. So, not very much time at all to do that. Not much time needed. So if you can do those 4 things on the first Saturday of each month for 5 months, that will complete the first Saturday devotion. Now, there is one of the children was called Sister Lucy, and she said we should do the first Saturday devotion continually. So once you've done it for 5 months, that can be for yourself, and then do another 5 months, and then do that for your family, and then do more and more for your family and friends and all your loved ones. That's what Sister Lucy said. And she was always doing the first Saturday devotion continually. So if you've got loved ones who are on the wrong path, doing bad things, or not necessarily doing bad things, but just far away from God, they don't have God in their life, you can do the first Saturday devotion for them, and that would be very pleasing to Jesus and to God and to Mary. And that should help them get saved. I say should because some theologians say you can't do a devotion for someone else, but evidently Sister Lucy was doing it for her family and friends, and she recommended that we do it for family and friends. So we can do this devotion to help our loved ones. So I suppose the first and best reason for doing it is because it's pleasing to Jesus and Mary. They've asked for it, and so we should do it as good children. And then the second most important reason is to help our beloved ones. And then third, most importantly, is that we can help save the world by doing this. The world is in peril, and an era of peace will not come until the consecration of Russia has happened. That's specifically what Our Lady said. Once Russia is consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, an era of peace will come. And that's what most Catholics are waiting for the Pope and the bishops to consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. But they don't realize that the Pope will not be able to do that consecration until there's enough people doing the first Saturday devotion. Because everything depends on grace. The Pope will not get the grace to be able to realize that this consecration is necessary until there's enough people doing the first Saturday devotion. If many people start doing the first Saturday devotion, that will cause a lot of grace and power to get to the Pope and the bishops, and they will finally have a light bulb above their head go ding, and they will say, yes, we need to do the consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Let's do it as soon as possible. Because at the moment they're just ignoring it. They're not going to do it. There's no sign that they're going to do it now or in the near future. They just don't even care. Maybe they're bad Catholics. Maybe they're not even true Catholics, because there's a lot of Freemasons in the church. Let's hope they're not part of that crowd. I have to say it's likely, or possible at least. But anyway, getting back to the point, there needs to be more people doing the first Saturday devotion. And you can find out more about the first Saturday devotion on a very good website called fatima.org. But as I said, it's really easy. There's only 4 things you need to do: Mass, confession, rosary, meditation. So that's how you save the world. And there may not be many people watching this video, but it's never about quantity, it's always about quality. And if you can convince a few other people to start this devotion, then you can be a major player in saving the world. Great fires can be started by little fires. Just one spark is needed to start a fire. Pray for the gifts of the Holy Spirit, the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit mentioned in the Bible. It's coming up to Pentecost Day, which is a great feast in the Catholic Church, where we celebrate the Holy Spirit descending on Mary and the apostles in the upper room. And that was the birth of the church, the Catholic Church. The apostles were the first bishops. And the bishops ordained priests and other bishops. and that's been going on since day one. And the chief bishop was always the Pope. Peter was the first Pope, and that's gone on until this day. So Pentecost is coming up on Sunday, a week today, and that's, as I said, a great feast of the Holy Spirit. And let us pray for the gifts of the Holy Spirit, the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Of course, there are many gifts of the Holy Spirit, which we possibly don't know the names of. Maybe we can't. Maybe we don't have a word to describe it in the human tongue, for example. But the 7 main gifts are very lovely, and we need them more than ever. And fortitude is one of them, and that's what we need. We need soldiers, courageous soldiers, soldiers of Jesus and Mary, not afraid to start a fire, not afraid to save the world, take part in truth, the truth of the Fatima messages. And so fortitude, i.e. strength, and courage, ask for that. We are children of God, but we are also children of Mary. And we must always remember that God came to this world through Mary. All gifts come to us through Mary. The gift, the ultimate gift, Jesus, came into this world through Mary. So there we can see God is giving the ultimate gift and gives all gifts through Mary. And just as God came to this world through Mary, you must always go back to God through Mary. So I hope that's helped inform viewers of how to save the world and the Fatima messages. And please go forth and try and get other people to do this first Saturday devotion to bring about the era of peace. This is Jesus and Mary signing off. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.